guys, what's up? Today I'm going to tell you about my top 10 anime series. I've divided this list into two categories with 5 anime each, which are the old school animes and the more current ones. My choices might not be the best for you, but they are the best for me. These animes are on my top list not only because I love the characters and the stories, but also because they have high rewatch value. Most of these animes are very popular, so you probably already know about them. Keep in mind that I'm a terrible reviewer, so I'm just gonna talk about my favorite animes here instead of reviewing them. Okay then, let's begin! Starting with the old school anime, at number 5 is Inuyasha. This anime is about a girl named Kagome who traveled back in time to the feudal era after accidentally falling down the old well in her shrine. She then met a half-demon there named Inuyasha. They got in a fight at first, but because of the circumstances, they eventually teamed up to retrieve the pieces of an old jewel named Shikong no Tama, which got shattered when Kagome was trying to get it back from a demon who tried to steal it. The jewel was dispersed across the country, and Inuyasha and Kagome had to search for all of those shards together to keep them from being used by evil demons. On their journey, they were joined by some new friends and they worked together as a team to collect all of the Shikong no Tama shards across Japan. My favorite thing about this anime is the relationship between Inuyasha and Kagome. They are both too stubborn to admit their feelings towards each other, but it is apparent from their actions that they are truly in love with one another. There's a lot of actions in this anime, and there's some sweet romance here and there as well, which balances things out in my opinion. Actions and romance have always been the perfect combination for me. Next, in number 4 is Daa 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 or UFO Baby. This is the very first anime I've ever watched, next to Doraemon that is. It's about an 8th grader named Miu who had to live with Mr. Sayonji, a friend of her parents, because her parents had to go to America to work for NASA. But Mr. Sayonji suddenly had to go on a 1-year-long trip to India, leaving Miu to live alone with his son named Kanata. Later, an alien baby and his babysitter pet landed in their house. Miu and Kanata had to take care of the alien baby together, and then things kept happening to them and they went through so many adventures that brought them closer to one another. This is a very funny anime. There's some romance in it, but it is mostly comedy. Again, I really love the relationship between the two main characters because it progressed bit by bit throughout the series. I also love the comedy aspect of this anime and I never get bored watching it. At number 3 is Digimon Adventure 1. I'm sure you all know about this anime, so I don't think I need to explain the summary here. Out of all the chosen children, my favorite one is Takeru and my favorite Digimon is Patamon. It's funny how the smallest of the chosen children and his Digimon hold the biggest power out of them all. Next at number 2 is Yu Hakusho. It's about a delinquent named Urameshi Yusuke who died saving a child when the child was about to get hit by a car. Unfortunately, the afterlife was not prepared for Yusuke's death because they never thought he would make such a noble sacrifice, seeing as he had a very bad reputation when he was still alive. After Yusuke was brought back to life, he was hired by the spirit world prince named Koenma as a spirit detective to stop the evil demons that threatened the lives of people everywhere. Throughout Yusuke's journey, he was joined by his rival, Kuwabara Kazuma, and 2 demons named Hiei and Kurama, whom are ex-convicts of the afterlife that managed to escape from Koenma. What made me fall in love with this anime at first was Hiei because he is the coolest character I've ever seen in my entire life. I grew to love this series after watching a few episodes and I became obsessed with it that I kept watching it over and over again every time it was re-aired on Animax. This anime kept me company during the time when I didn't have any friends. It was also the thing that introduced me to the world of fanfiction and it changed my life forever. And finally, in number 1 is Cardcaptor Sakura. It's about a 4th grader named Kinomoto Sakura who stumbled upon a mysterious book that held magical cards made by a magician named Chlorate. Sakura accidentally released all the cards from the book, and she must work as a card captor to retrieve all those cards back before they bring chaos to the world. She is helped by Keroberos, the guardian of the cards, her best friend Tomoyo, and her rival Ouran. This anime has the highest rewatch value in my book as I have watched it countless times ever since I was little. The story was very well planned, unlike in many other animes where they just slapped more and more things together to keep the series going longer. Cardcaptor Sakura had a steady and consistent pace and progress, and it didn't include any aspo and randomly added characters that provided nothing to the series. My favorite character in this anime is Yukito, as he is one of my top anime crushes of all time. Okay, so those were all the old school animes, now let's move on to the more current ones. Listed in no particular order, the first one is Kayon. It's about Hirasawa Yui, a carefree high school freshman who joined a newly formed music club in her school, despite not knowing how to play any instrument at all. When Yui went to the club room to explain, she was immediately greeted by the other members, Ritsu, Mio, and Mugi. The girls were disappointed when they found out that Yui wasn't able to play any musical instrument, but they still tried to convince her to stay to prevent the club from being disbanded. With the help of her new friends, Yui eventually managed to play the guitar and become the guitarist of the club. This anime is all about moeness and friendship. Even though the main theme of this anime is music, there wasn't really that much music involved. It was more about the life of the girls in school and how they worked together to keep the music club alive. Sure, they played some music here and there, but I still think that the main emphasis of this series is the friendship between Yui and her friends. And that's what I love about this anime. I'm also a sucker for cute moe anime girls. My favorite character here is Mugi because she plays the piano and keyboard and she is a great inspiration for me. Speaking of piano, the next anime on the list is Shigatsu wa Kimi no Uso, which is the newest addition to my top picks. It's about a piano prodigy named Arima Kosei who had a mental breakdown after his mother passed away, resulting in him not being able to hear the sound of his piano, even though his hearing was perfectly fine. He stopped playing the piano for 2 years and proceeded to live his life as a normal student with his best friend Tsubaki and Watari. Until one day, a girl named Miyazono Kaori came into his life and changed everything. She's a violinist who helped Kosei return to the music world and showed him that music should be played with feelings instead of using the rigid style that Kosei was used to. I admit, the plot of this anime is kind of cliche, but they managed to pull it off pretty well. To be honest, I'm not much of a fan of some of the main characters, namely Tsubaki and Watari, but I love the rest of the characters there. I have to compliment the art style of this series because it is just utterly beautiful. The colors are so vibrant, the details are drawn and animated well, and the characters actually have lips, which is not something that we see every day in anime. It's also great to see that the characters are actually shown playing the piano instead of just gliding their hands on the keys like what they show in another music-themed anime named Lakoda Doro Primo Passo. I also love the first opening of this anime and I freaked out when I first listened to it because I immediately recognized it as one of the songs made by my favorite Japanese band, Goose House. Anyway, the thing I love most about this series is the classical music because I love classical music. I've been listening to it since I was very little and it is the only thing I have on my iPod aside from the anime soundtracks. So you can probably imagine how I felt when I first discovered this anime. Yep, I was mind-blown. Another thing is, watching this anime actually gave me the motivation to continue practicing the piano. I've actually played the piano since grade school, but when I got into university, I began slacking off. But after watching this anime, I began practicing again and I'm actually in the middle of learning one of the songs that Kosei played in this anime, which is far from easy and takes a lot of my time, hence why I had slacked off in the YouTube department, hehe, sorry. Anyway, my favorite character in this series is Aiza Nagi because I completely relate to her. From having troubles playing the piano because of her small hands, to how she looks up to her brother and wanting to reach him with her music. Okay, enough rambling about Shigatsu. Next anime on the list is Fairy Tail. Yes, very different from the two previous animes I've mentioned before. It's about Lucy Heartfilia, a traveling mage who was looking to join a mage guild named Fairy Tail. She met Natsu Dragneel and his cat partner Happy during her quest to search for the guild. Natsu and Happy were apparently mages from Fairy Tail, the guild she wanted to join. Natsu then offered her membership into the guild, which she gladly accepted. The three of them then formed a team together, performing various missions offered to the Fairy Tail Guild. What I love most about fairy tales are the characters because each of them is very unique and has something to contribute to the story. Unlike in Naruto, where the female characters are often cast aside and treated as damsels in distress, the girls here can actually fight. No offense to the Naruto fans out there, I'm a huge Naruto fan myself, but I'm just saying the truth. The female characters in Naruto had huge potentials, but they were never given enough spotlight, unlike the female characters in Fairy Tail. It's great to see badass female characters fighting and defending themselves from the evil villains for a change. My favorite character is Mira Jane. I love how she turns into a demon whenever she gets angry. I also love Lucy, but I don't like how she is treated as a fanservice character all the time. The next anime is another shonen anime and it is Hunter x Hunter. It is about a 12-year-old boy named Gon Freaks who was determined to become the best hunter possible in hopes of finding his father, who was a hunter himself and had long ago abandoned his young son. Along the way to becoming an official hunter, Gon became friends with a doctor-in-training named Leorio, vengeful Kurapika, and rebellious ex-assassin Killua. To achieve their own goals and desires, together the four of them took the hunter exam, which was famous for its low success rate and high probability of death. Gon and his friends went on an adventure that put them through many hardships and struggles, and they all learned what being a hunter truly meant. This is actually an old series which started back in the late 90s but was rebooted in 2011, hence why I put it in the newer anime list. It is made by Yoshihiro Togashi Sensei, the same author who made Yu Hakusho. You can clearly see that many characters in this anime are highly inspired by the ones in Yu Hakusho. I really dig the concept of hunter exams where the candidates have to undergo many tests to prove that they really do deserve to be hunters. I think when you go through tests like that, you will eventually find out the true characters of the people around you, and you will know whom your true friends really are, which was what happened to Gon and his friends. My favorite characters in this series are Kurapika and Peitan. The latter is actually one of the antagonists. I love him because he reminds me of Hiei a lot. We have finally reached the end of the list, and the final anime is dum dum dum, Ouran Kouko Hostclub. It's about Haruhi Fujioka, a bright student who won a scholarship to attend Ouran High School, an elite academy for high-class students. When she was searching for a quiet place to study, Haruhi accidentally entered the host club. The club consisted of Tamaki the prince, Kyoya the shadow king, Hikaru and Kaoru the mischievous twins, the childlike Hani Nozuka or Hani senpai, and his strong protector Mori. When Haruhi was trying to get away from the boys, she accidentally broke a vase worth 8 million yen and was forced into joining the host club to pay for her enormous debt. She then cross-dressed as a boy and became one of the host club members and spent every day at school entertaining the ladies in the host club together with her new friends. This anime is probably one of the funniest animes I've ever watched. I remember laughing until I cried when I first watched it. I like how the anime accentuated the comedy aspect more instead of romance, unlike in the manga. My favorite character is Hani senpai. I love how he turns into a different person once he starts fighting. Okay, so those were all my top 10 animes. I hope you guys didn't get sick of listening to me rambling. Now I have a question for you guys. What are some of your favorite animes? Please tell me your answers in the comment box below because I would really love to read them all. Okay, so that's all from me today, guys. I actually had to record this video twice because the first time I did this, I forgot to plug in the microphone. So I was like, yep. Genius! Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, guys, and thank you for those of you who have subscribed to me. If you haven't, then please be sure to click on the shiny subscribe button below. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends if you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you on my next one. Have a nice day, everyone! Bye bye!